What do I mean by hell? I don't mean the Christian hell. I don't mean Dante's Inferno, although Dante's Inferno seems to be quite horrible. I don't mean the Muslim hell. I don't mean any other religious hell. What I mean is the most terrible life that you can possibly imagine. So let's do a mental exercise here. Close your eyes. You don't have to close your eyes. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. But anyways, we're going to do this mental exercise here together. Think about your bad habits. Think about your worst habits, your worst tendencies even. Maybe you have a tendency to show up late to work. You're not very punctual. Maybe you don't tell your family that you love them enough, and maybe you're distant sometimes. Maybe you're distant for a long time. Maybe you have a tendency not to exercise. Maybe you have a tendency to eat chips every night. You love pop. Maybe you have too many sodas per day. I want you to think about what your life will be like in 5 years, just 5 years, if you give in to all of those tendencies. So imagine all of the all of the habits that you do or the tendencies that you have that are not good for you, that you have to fight. Imagine what your life will be like in 5 years if you don't fight those tendencies. So let's go through the list again. Let's say you make a habit of showing up late every day. Every day at work, you're late. You never spend time with your family. You don't communicate properly. You stop exercising. You stop eating healthy. You stop caring what you eat. You just eat whatever. Who would you be? Who would you be as a person? And really, would you like that person? Is that who you want to be? Do you want to be that person? The person that is basically ignoring all of the self-help or all of the self-improvement that you know that you need to actually do. Another question that's really important to ask here as well is, because it's not just about you, how would others respond to that? How would people that you actually care about respond to that? So let's talk about the people in your life that are important. And we'll start with your boss, because your boss is sort of important in your life, right? Because he is in some ways responsible for your employment. So would your boss keep you employed if you kept showing up late? And maybe they would. Maybe, you're a really hard worker and you stay late. But that's not the point of this exercise. The point is, if you were the worst employee, if you gave in to all your bad tendencies, whatever your bad tendencies are, would your boss keep you around? Probably not, right? Would your coworkers like you? And maybe you don't care if they like you. I get it. But maybe they don't want to work with you. And guess what happens to people that people don't want to work with? They don't get hired. They don't stay employed. Or maybe they would keep you employed, but you'd be that guy in the corner that no one wants to talk about, no one wants to work with. I mean, they like to talk about you, but they don't want to work with you because, well, that person is useless. That person has shunned away from responsibility for far too long. That person has blamed other people far too long, and now they are someone that no one wants to work with. So your actions do affect other people around you. And so it's not so much of, do you want to be that person? And I hope you say no, you don't want to be that person. But it's also a matter of, specific to your job, are you going to be able to keep your job, for one? Do you want to be that person, for two? And I mean, specifically when it comes to your job, this is something that you do for a significant amount of your time. You spend a significant amount of your time at work, and so this should be something that you actually care about and you want to do. But the moral of the story is, if you give in to all your bad habits and your bad tendencies, is that who you want to be? And can you even be that person? Would you even be employed in 5 years? What about your relationships? Okay, well, your partner. Let's say you have a loving partner. Would your partner still be with you? If you stopped spending time with them, if you stopped telling them you love them, if you ignored them, if you turned into, and I'm not saying this is your worst self, you have to think about, and I'm sure you know, if you ask yourself the question, what are my natural tendencies? And I'm sure there's going to be things that come to mind. That's like, okay, I'm not very good at doing this, and I have to work at doing that. If you give in to those tendencies, would your partner still be with you? Oh, but they love me unconditionally, you may say. Well, become the worst version of yourself and see if that's still true. I know this is hard. It's a hard pill to swallow. Again, I don't sell happy pills. If you allow yourself to become the worst possible version of yourself, do you really think your partner is still going to love you, still going to care about you? And the more important question is, are you actually going to care about yourself? Are you actually going to love yourself if you are that person? So what's the worst version of your life in 5 years? Let's look at it. No job, or a job that is just horrible, deeply unsatisfying because no one likes you, and you know it. You know no one likes you, and you're bad at your job, and you know you're bad at your job, and everyone else knows that you're bad at your job, and you know it's your fault because for the last 5 years you've been consciously ignoring the idea of improving or the work required to improve. So your job sucks, or you have no job. You have no partner. You know, your partner left you because you're a horrible. Let's be honest. You gave into your worst tendencies for 5 years. You're a horrible partner. You have no family because no one wants to spend time with you anymore. I mean, Jesus, who wants to spend time with the worst version of whoever you are? You're severely overweight. You have health problems because you're not exercising and you're eating poorly. Is that who you want to become? That is hell. That is real hell. Again, I'm not talking about the Christian hell. I'm not talking about any other form, Dante's Inferno. I'm talking about real life. Hell on earth. It exists. And people are there. And you could be there too in 5 years. In less time. If you completely give up. And if you just give in to all your worst tendencies.